I love her already. I love the sister already. She is so fantastic. I love that whole little bit where she's talking about childhood friends and sisters. Like, yes, this girl gets me. She's right. She's saying it. She's preaching it. Yes, technically, a sister is a childhood friend. And so both of those kind of archetypes come together as one, the perfect being, which is why the sister archetype is so great. It's because they're technically the best archetype, which is childhood friend. I've always been a big fan of childhood friend characters. And so I've always kind of in step, always liked the sister characters. And so, yeah, this episode was absolutely fantastic. I really did like this really kind of cool reveal that, yes, this childhood friend that we see in the first episode is in fact the sister. The one that he contacted about his new fetish with legs was the girl from the student council. Yes, Yuki. That was really, really great. I love that little reveal there. And again, the entire episode was just how fantastic she was. But despite that, despite the fact how much I love her character and all the mischief they got into, Alya still somehow just takes over the show. In the end, her whole thing at the dressing room was just chef kiss, just absolute chef kiss. And yeah, her being completely flustered the entire time about their relationship. I'm kind of surprised they never actually revealed it. I mean, Kuze kind of was trying to reveal that, or at least it seemed like he was going to, but he just kind of skirted around it. Like, oh no, she just came over to my place and jumped in my bed. I would assume that at that point he would have revealed it, but I guess they're just going to keep dragging this joke along that the entire time Alya thinks they're in a relationship, because if he has any prospects of going out with Alya, he needs to reveal that, because right now Alya thinks that he's taken. Like, he literally said, I was in bed with him this morning, and then I asked if I could use his shirt. The sister, she was so bad this episode. Anyways, let's jump into the episode proper. I really wasn't going to cover this show on a weekly basis, but I just really love this episode, so I want to talk about it. So whatever. I think it did better than my video on Oshinoko, so it seemed like people enjoyed it. But now opening up the episode, they're in the little storage area. And Yuki completely sets him up with this whole thing about like, oh, you should greet me more pleasantly. He's like, oh yeah, how's it going? And then sure enough, Alya comes around the corner. She keeps saying that he wants him to come to him. I'm totally throwing myself at him, and he doesn't even know that. They did technically later on reveal that at least the sister doesn't know Russian. So I was kind of curious about that in this little scene, because again, Alya is obviously saying, come at me, Kuze, but it's not as if anything that she says in Russian that the sister is picking up on. So is just kind of going along with it. But no, afterwards, they all get taken out for dinner by the president. Now, this is sort of kind of opening the door to what seems to be some sort of subplot for this series, is that Alya really badly wants to become the next student council president. And it seems like this is in counter, or at least in competition, with Soyo. Soyo is going to be going forward as well, and she wants to have Kuze, join her. But the entire time, he's saying, no, I don't want to do that. She's going to be perfectly fine. So is a shoo-in. Everybody's going to obviously vote for her. But no, that's when the president says no, she's not a shoo-in, because Alya is going up against her. Now, throughout the episode, they had a couple little points where they were hitting on this, especially at the very later part, where it does seem like Alya is very pushed and determined to do this, because it's obviously going to cause conflict. I mean, Alya doesn't really have many friends. There is a concern in this episode about Alya and her relationship with other people. And yeah, this is going to cause a conflict with what he, I guess, would see as probably her only friend, which is So. So and her are working together in the student council. And now next year, they're going to be at each other's throats. And yes, it technically is going to be opening the door to, yes, do we have the second year version of this show where suddenly out of nowhere, both his sister and Alya are going to be asking him to be their vices, and he's going to have to be conflicted with which one he's going to end up joining. Or in the end, not want to join either one of them. Yes, it does indicate some point in this episode seemingly why Kuze doesn't want to join the student council. It implied before where he's like, yeah, I did that in middle school. I didn't like it. It took too much time. In this episode, it's implying that, or at least it showed a brief shot when Alya said in Russian that she wants him to join her, that he made somebody upset. It showed this brief shot of this girl, and she's in tears saying sorry to her mother and father. It seemed to indicate, based on that brief little shot, that might be why he's so against it. My assumption is that he sees other people seeing a lot more in it than he does. Why would he push to be part of the student council president or taking that position when other people take it more seriously than he does, and he doesn't really care about it? Or at least the idea that maybe that person that was crying was somebody that he knew, and he broke her heart. Maybe it was somebody that he liked or something. That's the question mark there, but it obviously seems like because it shows that shot, that this is something that he doesn't want to be a part of, because it's something that he doesn't care that much about. But yes, that's when we get the introduction to best sister So, or Yuki, whatever you want to call her, best sister, him walking into his house. And here's where, when he first walks in, it does indicate here that they don't normally live together. That his sister is now there. He's like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, I'm staying the night. Well, that's news to me. Well, it's breaking news. So it indicates that typically she doesn't stay there. So because she has a different family name, my assumption here is that maybe they're actually blood related brother and sister. It's just at some point their parents broke up, and whatever side is currently taking care of Yuki So is married to somebody else, and that's why she has a different family name. That's going to be my assumption, and maybe they're okay with the idea of them kind of living at one house or the other whenever they want to. So it does seem like they're possibly blood related. I mean, their hair's color is the same exact, so I'm assuming they're blood related, but... and yes, that's technically important to her, because if she were to have a relationship with Kuze, she want to make sure that they're blood related. But yeah, this whole scene was fantastic. Like I said earlier, just her reading the manga and talking about some heroine that's completely oblivious to this boy that she's with being literally her brother. And then he makes a whole joke about her faking to be a childhood friend. Childhood friends and sisters are the same thing. But initially, yes, getting into the whole kiss. Oh, wait, he's actually kissing the heroine. Oh, they gotta be step siblings. No, that can't be. It doesn't count. It's not good unless they're blood related. Like, I don't want no cheap thing where, oh, we find out that they're just siblings by their parents. No, they have to be blood related for it to be good. Some real Wincest mentality here. And then, yes, of course, the wake up scene where she wakes him up the next morning. Must be nice to be woken up by such a cute sister, right? The mischievous look when he says that he wants to get up. What's wrong? Jeez, it's so wrong. But no, that goes to the whole date thing, and eventually, yes, they get spotted by Alyssa. I like the fact that they're, like, competing over who actually noticed her first. Like, I keep seeing this silver thing at the corner of my eye, and then sure enough, they see her, they walk over to her, and suddenly she's like, oh, well, yeah, I just spotted you, and I was looking for a chance to say hi. No, you weren't. You're watching the entire time. But no, they go to the spicy restaurant, and this is another one of those kind of mischievous things about the sister that I love. It does seem like there's a part of it that it seems like So is trying to help Kuze with his relationship with Alya. But at the same time, I also see it as sort of a mischievous competition. I don't know that So likes Kuze. I want to say they're trying to play it out like she is mischievous with Kuze to play out those tropes. Like she does like teasing him and flirting with that idea. But I think she's trying to push Alya onto Kuze. But even still, I do think that there is sort of a competitiveness between her and Alya, and the idea that, yes, technically they're both going for the same purpose next year. So I do think that her messing with Alya right here is definitely like a maliciousness in the fact that Alya is technically against her for the next student council president. So it's kind of that little funny thing there where it almost seems like a teasing aspect for Kuze at the same time, trying to mess with him, mess with Alya. It's sort of, this right here, this scene was like just absolute golden chemistry. I absolutely love the chemistry here. Because yes, at some point, she points out her casual outfit. She's like, yeah, this morning I was in Kuze's bed, and then I asked to use his t-shirt. And again, it was like one of those moments of like, why would he not clarify this situation? No, we're just gonna do the whole like harem thing where we're just gonna completely leave that on the table. Like even at the end of the episode, they both get off the train and Alya's all messed up. So she's like, oh wait, did they get off at the same station? Wait, what? She has no clue. It's so great. Again, it's one of those things that's frustrating, but at the same time, yes, them not clarifying is what's creating more comedy. So Andrew, shut up. Yes, the entire episode was absolutely fantastic with the animation. Yes, the feet hitting and locking, and yes, the on the bed scene and everything like that. The mischievous faces throughout the episode were just absolutely golden. But I think the expressions of Alya in this scene were just absolutely priceless. Yes, her panicking obviously over the admission of being in the bed together and wearing his t-shirt, but then like going right into the spicy stuff, like her just being shocked by the spiciness and then having to actually eat the spicy stuff, and her just constantly saying, no, I'm fine. And then in Russian, she's like, please help me, mama. She's like, mama. She's like, you don't have to eat it. No, I'm perfectly fine, mama. It was great. And then yes, like I said, the sister having to bait her into actually getting more spicy. And again, she doesn't know what Alya's saying, but she could probably pick it up by her facial expression that she's in pain. So she's kind of just goes along with it and keeps pushing her more and more. And again, the after scene with the ice cream was really, again, her seemingly pushing heavily that she wants to be student council president. Now, the question mark right here is, why is she so dead set on it? It seems like the way that she jumps back at him, this is something that should be expected. Like, why wouldn't I do this? She seems very blunt about it, so it seems like there's a significant reason for it. She doesn't say, Kuze, I want you to be my vice. She does say it in Russian later on, but that kind of implies the idea that she has no intentions of doing this for him. Yes, it could be that she's doing it to get his attention, but why would she not be working with him at this current moment to try to get him recruited when she's already been planning this for a while? This is news to him right now. So I'll be curious as to see what is so important about this for her, but right now it's kind of just left extremely vague. But no, anyhow, that aside, she invites him to go clothes shopping with her. And like, this is so funny because it's like this whole misunderstanding thing where, yeah, she's like, hey, come help me. And he's like, why would I do that? But then at the same time, he realized, oh, wait, she doesn't have any friends. I should kind of support her because she doesn't have friends. So I'm going to help her out. So he's literally just doing this because he feels sorry for her because she doesn't have any friends and he doesn't want her to feel alone. But when they get to the shop, Alya completely thinks that he's doing it because he pities her because he doesn't think that she can become president. And so it kind of turns this whole thing where she's trying to throw him off while he's trying to be super nice to her. Like the whole thing with her dressing up, which, yes, by the way, chef kiss on the spicy shots in the dressing room. And yes, many of the outfits were super good. The amount of animation they put in that whole scene was, you knew where the budget needs to go to. But no, anyways, I like how she's like, okay, I'm gonna blow him away with this outfit. I'm gonna show him how mature I can look. But wait, I shouldn't act like I'm expecting it because then if I get shut down, it'll hurt. And so she opens up the curtain, it has like this mean look on her face, like, so what do you think? And he immediately goes, again, to like full-on friend mode. I need to be as nice as possible to her and start talking her up about how beautiful she looks and everything. And it just completely throws her off. And it throws him off as well. It was so good. Like the reactions afterwards were just absolutely priceless. And again, it's just like more and more, just every outfit she puts on, he just has to say something nice about it. And she just completely throws her off. All the way to the point where she gets a very risky outfit, opens it up, and the sister's standing there. Dang, Alya, you're being very bold. Super good. But again, right there, it does reveal that the sister doesn't know Russian, which I was kind of surprised with. I was kind of thinking because there was a possibility they may have grown up, in the same vicinity, at least when they were children, and maybe she learned Russian while he was learning it. But no, she's like, what did he say? Yeah, she said something about wanting to disappear. It was super good. Just a really good set of little scenes. And then, yes, the final scene with them all going home and getting off the train at the same spot, and Alya finally regaining consciousness of her shock and going, wait, they got the same spot. It was a super good episode. Really fantastic episode. Again, they kept the animation great. I mean, I should expect this from Dogokobo. I've had some points of Dogokobo where they have had shows they didn't do too well. But this one, they're definitely pulling all the stops. It still looks super fantastic. All the facial expressions, the eyes, everything just looks so spot on. They're doing an incredible job with this adaptation, and I absolutely love the second episode, and I cannot wait for the third episode. So, anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 2. It's just mostly me gushing about this sister being pretty much going to be up there with the best sisters in the history of anime. I'm definitely loving her already, so hopefully we have more of her in the show. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know if you like the episode. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you'd like to support this content, I have some links in the description. Hope you all enjoyed, and y'all take care.